Hello and welcome. I'm Kimberly and today we are going to do some resin art, and follow along, join in. We're just going to be with dried flowers, with silica gel, and yes, you can do this too, you can do it. So these are the flowers. This is the table flowers and also bouquet flowers that my sister's done. So there might be little parts where I'm trying to go, I'm hiding these and I'm trying to sort them out. But yeah, she gave me them and she's like, you can have them. And they went the honeymoon and stuff. And I thought, oh, it'd be great to try and preserve in some way. So I had them and they were starting to really dry, obviously, and just start rotting the water and everything. And I was just like, right, I've got to save these. Right, come on. So never done this before. Give it a go. Started cutting them up little bit by bit, putting everything together, roses with the roses, the greenery with the greenery, all that type of stuff, and yeah, made it right messy. So yeah, get an area where you can be nice and cleany, because it's a bit messy chopping everything up, especially when it gets to tea time and everyone's wanting their tea and stuff. So yeah, try and do it at a time when it's not so busy. But yeah, this takes a little bit of time, but it's well worth it. And even all the little twigs to stuff, cut them off and put them aside as well to dry out, because you might need them when you cut the heads off things. You might need them to pretend it looks like the rose is still a rose or whatever. So still keep them little bits. So silica gel, never used this before, totally new. And yeah, I got the smallest amount of beads you could get, because I did read that if you get it too fat, like the little fat gels you get like in your packet of shoes and stuff like that, and you get a little packet, it can dent the flower. So get the smallest you can get. This is just our holiday. After this, I left all the resin for like weeks. So we went to Paris and south of France and all over, and the BSB, the motorbikes, British Superbikes, and Thruxton. So yeah, just left them a long time. Come back to the resin now. Bit nervous I was. The greenery things were great. They were really crispy, completely dry. Everything just fell off it really well as well. And I was thinking, oh, I thought, will the little beads of this wreck anything? So I had a couple of boxes left over here from your tropic deliveries. So I thought, right, let's get some of them in here. If I just empty them and just store them in here for a little bit, just to try and get everything out. And they did. They'll come out absolutely great. One tip as well, tip the crystals out as the kids there having a play while I'm trying to do my stuff. Right, so you know when I said about having a little dabble at the resin? So I've been trying some flowers out. So I don't know if this is going to work, but we're going to have a little go. So yeah, like I said, I would, the crystal wise, tip them crystals out when you're trying to empty them to get the flowers. I did initially start digging down into the flowers, and obviously I ruined some. How divvy is that? So don't do that. Just tip the resin out back in the original bucket you got it from, and you can heat them in the microwave for a little bit. I read to if the crystals are like, you know, not working anymore. So give that a go. So I was drying everything out, putting everything in boxes, sorting it all out, ready for the big putting it together. I know you're not supposed to, but I got back from our holiday and like I didn't have time, so I've just like literally did loads all together with the silica gel. So I don't know if it's going to work or not, but I'm going to give it a go. And the reason why I'm doing it, as in not sure if it's going to work or not, because it's never a fail, is it? Even if something does fail and doesn't work, at least then you can move on and try something else. So here we go. So this is what we are looking at here. So these were my sister's flowers she had at the wedding, and she had them in a bouquet and on the table, and so as a surprise I'm wanting to put some in resin and have a little keepsake, little heart thing and stuff with a few things. Don't know if it's going to work. I've never done this before, so I've been wanting to do the resin for ages, but I didn't have time to do it because we were going away on holiday and everything else. So I literally got some silica crystal things and I just shoved it all together, shoved them all in, and hope for the best, because the flowers are really drying out quick. So I hope this works, I really do, because it'd be a really nice gift to give to my sister. Let's have a look. So as you can see now, everything's totally dry. The crystals, you just got to try and tip it out little bit by bit. It was all amazing though. I was really chuffed with the colours of this. The colours of stuff was just like, I was really surprised. I've dried flowers in the past, like, you know, when you hang them upside down and then they're brown, everything's like a brown colour. I was blown away by these silica crystal things I never knew of. YouTube again, I found that on. and it was just amazing. The colours were really vibrant, really lovely, so I was really buzzing with what he had to work with. Oh, it was just fab. I laid it all out, so if you lay it all out in front of you and just try and picture how you're going to place it, because that's going to be important to put it in your mould. So here's my big fat mould I got, and then if you have anything big wise to do resin wise, it is best to do it in layers and get the equipment. Here we go, mixing. Make sure you have a mask of some sort. You don't want to be breathing that in, man. Defo get that. Obviously ventilate the room, stuff like that. Keep the kids away, keep the cats and dogs away, you know, do your little thing. So then I started placing everything tiny bit by bit, nice and neat. And obviously don't forget to place upside down as well, so you're going to see the other side of that resin. So make sure you put some flowers that way up, rather than just the back of everything, so it doesn't look like the back. Mine was a little bit like that, but it still was turned out nice on the back. Then another thing is, the things can stick out. So we've gone in with another layer. So here's my little random. Do you know what? I'm really impressed actually that the crystals, you know, to dry them out, I didn't actually need. I didn't have to do them separately. I bashed them all together, and it still worked. It's still dried out like pretty well, and the colours are still nice. So here we go. That's my second layer. I've done another layer, waited a few. I don't even know if it's an hour or two. I can't remember how long it is now. Waited a little bit anyhow, and now I'm on here. So I've got about another maybe 2 layers there, and I'm going to try some of these smaller moulds as well. This is like a diamond one, and we can see what we can do from here. So onto the resin. Back in a bit. Oh, Rosie. Our pussycat there. So as you can see, it's like everything was sticking out a bit, and I was a bit panicking. I'm like, oh. So I'm putting my layers on and building my layers up, and then late o'clock, like 2 in the morning or something, I come back to do this layer because I didn't want to fully cure. And yeah, some of my flowers were sticking out, and I was like, oh man alive. I was like, they're going to show. And surely when you look from the profile view on the other side, you can see that they do stick up a little bit. So if you have anything like that, they are going to peek through the resin, no matter how much you prod them down. I did prod them. So here it is. I'm just out in the garden here, but it has worked. I've popped it out, and look at this. My life. I'm absolutely chuffed to bits. The detail. So I'm really glad that it worked first time around, because these are the only flowers I've got. So I'd have been gutted if this didn't work. So I'm hoping my sister will absolutely love this, and pop that on a shelf. So the next bit is, you can see there's some air bubbles here on the top. So this needs like flattening out a bit. So next stage. So we've got a lovely piece here. Now I'm outside because I've got a few things, and I got these drill tap things here that I'm going to use with my husband's drill. Don't know if it's going to work. You get these little sanding discs right from about 80 grit right up to like 4,000 grit. Might even be 5, maybe more. And some polishing ones as well. And I did get some epoxy polishing compound as well. Now I did do this little piece here. There's a little bit of which is really nice as well actually. It's some out of the wedding flowers as well. But it's got a really scratchy blunt edge. So I did that so I can have a practice on this first. And before I touch this, let's see. So here we've got all the sanding discs here, just damascene again, nice and easy, nice and cheap. And what's good about that, you can get all the grits. So I know I keep going about these grits, but it's really important. And also, don't use the low grit if you don't have to. Use the grit, start from whatever the mess is from. So if it's a little bit scratched, go up the grit pretty quick. Just maybe start from like 500 plus or something. But if it's really damaged, then yeah, get to like 40, 80, 100, and then work your way up. And then the minute you start hitting like 1,000 and stuff, you want to start using water with your sandpaper then, which I come to learn later on. Hindsight is a wonderful thing, isn't it? So yeah, so get all your bits. A drill thing I thought was quite a good option because it's nice and cheap. Nice and cheap. So if you've already got a drill, twat your husband's drill like me, and then you can put them on there. And make sure you put the drill bit in right as well, because it it'll just all fall apart on you like I did. My drill bit was just like whizzing everywhere. So yeah, make sure you put it in right, because you stick it on and you think, hey, you're ready to go, and you get everything ready and you get your little bit, and then it just all like, yeah, just all crumbles on you like that. It fell off. So put it on right, get it on nice and secure, and then take your time. I started going a little bit faster, yeah, and that's why it's a bit jerky. Don't do that, man. Just nice and slow. Take your time. So this bottom bit here, if I was just even slower with the drill, I could have got that really, really nice. And the biggest mistake I did was accidentally nicking the sides, because then your brain automatically tells you, oh, you got to sand the other side now because you've messed that side up. And then what did I end up doing? I ended up doing the whole thing, which I didn't need to do because that was already shiny and lovely. So put your drill upside down like this. This is a good way of doing it. I found out a good way to do it. So this was the way forward. So I had my little piece like this, nice, and see, look at that. I've had to do every bit now, because I did one side, I have to do with the other side now. And then don't forget, all these layers are actually making your little piece smaller. So this little rock thing I did, it ended up being like so small in comparison. So this is a lot more challenging than it looks. So I'm using my drill and I'm going through each grade. I've started with 40 right up to, they've given me 7,000. So I think on the higher ones maybe she's supposed to wet them, but as you can see it's quite scratched and I have gone up in the grades, but I haven't, I took my time really. So let's see, I don't know. So I'm going to try some more to refine it and see if I can get this shiny again before I dare touch the heart. We will see. Right, here we are back. Resin situations. So what I would genuinely totally advise is that when it comes to sanding resin pieces, have a test of something first. Do not go for a one-off piece, your best piece, your commissioned piece, whatever you might be doing. So as you know, it is my first go. It's my first time at all of this, so I'm trying hard. So I've done all these little stages. Yes, there was a few areas where I was like, should have learnt from that. As I read online, that things like even if you warm up the resin a little bit, just the bottles, it can help. With the air bubble things, come back every hour or so, pop a few if you need to. Didn't do that, just left it with my little thing on top thinking, oh no, dust will get on it. Come back in the morning and there's massive bubbles like half popped and stuff. So, and it's if this was just a normal piece, I wouldn't be bothered, because it's my surprise piece for my sister, and it's the only wedding flower she had. So yeah, so I haven't touched it. So here it is at the minute, still gorgeous and beautiful and absolutely stunning. The back is amazing because obviously that was the bottom of the mould. So as you can see, these little bits here, but I'm not being funny, but if this is like sat somewhere on a gorgeous part of a room on a shelf or something, that is going to attract the attention of like, oh, are they wedding flowers and all that. Then these little imperfections when you get close and see them. So my plan now, because my little test object here, this little was part of the flowers, put some of them thorny things, I don't know what they call them, thorny thistle things that you get from the wedding flowers. I put some of them in, right? So it's all funny shaped, yeah. Oh my life, I've spent hours and hours sanding like no one's business. So look, I've got resin on me already. So I've spent hours and hours sanding, right? This tiny bit, even my husband's like, oh my, and this is in the garden, thankfully, so there's not sand everywhere, debris everywhere. Yeah, this tiny little bit here. So each side, every little shape, right from, and I got off Amazon some sandpaper with your drill, grit from, what was it, 40, so nice thick, starts off thick, yeah, you're going to see lines, right up to 7,000, right, when you start adding water with the sandpaper and all that, right, to get a nice mirror finish, supposed to be glass finish, you know. Oh my life, over and over again. This, you know, I kept going back over it, right, start again, the scratches are still not coming out. So finally got to a point where, yes, I got a lot of the scratches out, but it's still, there's areas of it which have got these parts here, which is imperfections, little holes and bubbles and stuff where they've got sand in them now, the white dust, they're not coming out. And the one bit which was the bottom of the mould is the best, which is all the bit I needed. But what it was is because I was a bit rough at the start and I accidentally like just clipped the side a bit, I was like, oh, I've got to sand that side now, and now that side, and now that side. So then you have to do it all, and I haven't got it all nice and shiny again. So yeah, the advice is any mould, take it out the mould, enjoy that lovely shininess and leave it as it is. And the bottom bit, where you get the little natural uplip bit or whatever, just do that bit. Don't touch anything else, just do that bit. So yeah, that hasn't mega, but I will look at that and I'll keep that always, because that is my practice, my first practice. So glad I had that. So glad I never attempted my final piece. So what I'm going to do, my next plan. I am in the process of warming my resin right now. So I'm going to warm the resin, I'm going to mix it up, and that was a bit I didn't realise as well, that last pour. So when you mix them both together and you mix, you're supposed to then pour it one more time into another, say, empty plastic cup, clean plastic cup for instance, disposable, ideally you can fling it away. Didn't do that. I just mixed it. Yeah, I've mixed it 5 minutes, set it on me, I've mixed it. But I didn't do the last pour into another cup. And I can see that because there's a little streak in that where it's like a bit like misty. And straight away I'm like, that's where it's not mixed properly. I can actually see it. So yeah, so make sure you do that last pour. I'm going to do this time. So what I'm going to do, I am going to get a paintbrush. I don't know if it's going to work, but I'm just going to fill these tiny little holes on the top of this resin. I'm going to pour a little bit on, and because it's self-leveling, I'm hoping it has got a natural little lip at the end of the heart shape. So I'm hoping I can just get away with putting a tiny little bit on, fill some of them holes so it's not soft, there's little tacky bits, and then let that dry, and I'm hoping that will do as a gift. If this was like a practice piece, I'd be all sanding it and faffing on and all of that, but I'm frightened in case I spoil it because of that little bit. So that is what I'm going to do. So I will try that next and see how we get on there. Oh guys, my sister's bouquet of resin flower I've given, and it went down really well. She absolutely loved it. So I'm really chuffed with that she liked it so much. So I did a few little, you see them in the part there, of these sort of having a little go of little dafts. I've crammed loads of just all the extras with the roses and stuff. I just crammed a load in. I know there's like bubbles and everything, but it's just test pieces. It's just things I can have a go of, just to have a look there. I've got no nails on that yet. So yeah, it shows you don't cram too much in because it snapped off. But it actually looks like one of them pyramids where it's like the pyramid now when it hasn't got the full top on. So yes, it went really well. So I'm going to show you a bit more what I've done with it, a bit more of a resin, a nice tray I've got. Hope you might like that. But it went down so well. So even though it wasn't perfect, it had the human touches, of course. She really loved it. So have a go at that yourself. Don't think you can't. Have a go. You can do that. Get a mould. Get any resin. I would advise get the 50-50 one, so at least you know you can go, there's half in that plastic cup, half in that plastic cup, mix together and do then the last pour in one cup together. And after a good mix, after about 5 minutes, and if you can, warm the bottles a little bit, and it'll work. It'll be fine, and you'll just layer by layer, and you'll be fine. You can give it that as an amazing gift. So I hope that's give you a buzz to go on. You can do this just with all these little resin creations. It's not going to go perfect, and you do have to have a little bit of patience, but it's okay. It's something unusual. It's something they will love. But yeah, I'd definitely, if you're going to pinch something like maybe bits of wedding flowers and stuff, and you've never done it before, maybe it's just not say anything until you've had a go and done it, just so there's no disappointment there. But you don't have to pay hundreds. I initially looked at this and it was like £100+ just for the drying of the flowers. That was it, before even bringing resin into it. And then when you're adding then the resin on there as well, oh my life, it was like another, I think in total I'd costed up for that thick size, the heart and everything else and what I'd want. It was like £200 and something plus, and I'm not going to pay that. I thought, I'm creative, I can do this myself. What am I paying these people for? So definitely give it a go. I know you've got to pay for the resin and stuff like that, but you can still Amazon and all that, you can get all that from there. But do give yourself a chance to have a little trial of stuff. Don't completely rely on here in YouTube and different things to go, oh yeah, that would be fine, because I know there's a few vids on there where it makes it out very perfect, and if you just do this and just do that, it'll be okay. And it's not as straightforward as that. So you're going to get air bubbles, you're going to get, you know, it might not touch the sides as perfect, you might not mix it as well, you might, yeah. So just give it a little try first, but have fun, it's something different. But yeah, I was really chuffed with that. She really liked that, so all good. So yeah, have a go. So yeah, and if there's something absolutely really sentimental and you do not absolutely want to touch it, then by all means go out and get someone who can really do it well, to professionally do it, and pay the money. That's what you've got to do. If there's something that really means something, but you really think it's a good idea to perhaps set it in resin just so you can keep it, yeah, I'd advise do that as well. But if there's something where it's not as, give it a go yourself. And if you enjoy, please like, subscribe out here, and hopefully we'll come with some more creative things. We've got more stuff over at my kids channel to do with kids stuff, so if you need some inspiration for the little ones, feel free to have a look at that. And if you have some skincare needs, I've got my skincare over on that channel, on a different channel over there as well, with kvtropic.com at Kimberly Vickers. So have a look at that too, and we will see you soon.